Is there any experimenting involved when I brew? Absolutely, absolutely. Everything from minor temperature changes, changing up an ingredient, maybe a different strain of hop or different yeast. Those are all experiments that I undertake when I brew. Only starting out did I find that there were beers that I brewed that I didn't like, just because, I don't know, I guess I had sort of higher expectations for myself starting out. There's all kinds of different steps that are involved in the brewing process, and it really depends on how complicated you want to make it. The most simple form is extract brewing, which just basically involves boiling and then fermenting. That's basically all it is in brewing, is you're boiling something and then you're fermenting it. Everything that you do before you get to the boil stage is up to you. It depends on what kind of control you want over the quality of the flavor of the final product. The temperature that you're going to ferment in depends on whether you're brewing an ale or a lager. Now, lagers typically like colder temperatures. Around 50 to 60 degrees is your target there. Ales, they prefer warmer temperatures. You're looking for about 68 to 72 is where they're most comfortable. If the temperature is off during fermentation, your fermentation can stall out. Your yeast will not eat up the sugars. It's not going to give you the alcohol that you want from that. You can also get flavors that you didn't intend on getting. I have my own recipe. It's I just brewed an imperial pumpkin ale, which I call Agent Orange. It's an imperial pumpkin ale, super malty, a bit boozy, but it's pretty fantastic. I like to mix it up a lot with my recipes and try out different things. There's 3 main ingredients. The first one that's commonly overlooked is water. The quality of your water matters. The water chemistry matters. It matters what sort of compounds are in your water. The second thing that goes into every beer is malt. Now, how you get your malt is up to you. You can either get malt extract or you can get your own mashed malts from your local homebrew store. The third ingredient that goes into every brew is hops. These provide both flavoring and bittering agents for your beer. They also act as a preservative. You don't have to be a cook to brew beer. You just have to be able to look at what you brew with a critical eye and know where you went wrong and know how you can correct it to make it better in the future. I know that starting out people can do 1-gallon batches, which is great for experimentation, and especially if you don't invest much money before you really get into the hobby. But what I do is I do 5-gallon batches and then typically keg them. Brew day for me is about 6 to 7 hours, everywhere from setup to cleanup. And that's what I do is I do all grain brewing, which is extracting fermentable sugars from your grain itself instead of using extract. So it's typically a longer process, but I have more control over the flavor, and it's more closely related to what production brewers do. It took me a while before I actually dove in to really get into the hobby. My advice, my tips would be to just go for it. It seems like a big investment starting off, but it's really something that you're going to come to love in the long run. I would suggest learning as much as you can about it. It's a really fulfilling hobby in the end.